Hey, think you know all the pride flags? Duet this
Absolutely.
and show me. Starting with,
Absolutely. Gay.
this is easy.
Gay. Gay.
How about this?
Gay. In green.
All right, folks, it is a big week because the news is in, the reports are in. The Council of Homosexuals, I am told, have convened. The Alphabet people have just gotten their brand new software update. We're now on iOS 17. And ladies and gentlemen, apparently there is a brand new LGBT Pride Flag, and I don't think you're going to believe it, okay? This one truly is a sight to behold, to say the least. So we will react to that here in a second, but first, everyone right now, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and consider joining the channel membership at the link in the description down below for exclusive perks. All right, with that said, cue the Ric Flair music because we have a grand unveiling to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the brand new, as of this week, and we're seeing it for real out in the streets, LGBT Pride Flag. Folks, they're literally doing the meme. Okay, they're doing the Queers for Palestine meme. As you can see here, that is the Palestinian flag sort of taped over the LGBT Pride Flag. And, you know, in many ways, this is literally a parody of what conservatives think that the left is, right? This is what we make fun of them for being. It's like, oh, Queers for Palestine, you know, the meme, right? The whole idea that, you know, the left is so big on Palestine for some reason, but then at the same time, they're all about LGBT rights. And if you know how, you know, that's treated in Gaza and Palestine, you would know there's a pretty big contradiction there, blah, blah, blah. We've made fun of them for it for a while, but very shamelessly and transparently, they're admitting to the contradiction, and this is the new LGBT Pride Flag that you're seeing flown in the streets. And you may be saying, Vince, that's just a Photoshop. What do you mean you're not really seeing this being used? Well, as you can see, it is indeed real, okay? This flag is actually being spotted at real pro-Palestine protests at many different cases this week. And I'm sure, you know, next Pride Month, I'd have to imagine everyone is going to have downloaded the new software update. And this is what you're going to be seeing everywhere around the streets. So, you know, I really do go back and forth on this. It's like, well, you know, on one hand, I always like to overanalyze everything. So I always like to believe that there's a evil, conceited reason why the left is actually doing this and supporting Palestine and all that different stuff, right? But then on the flip side, I really also have to conclude at the same time, there's nothing complicated to it. There's nothing deep. There's no explanation for the contradiction. You know, they really just are that dumb. Okay, that really is the conclusion I think we have to reach at this point, is that these people who are doing this stuff, because don't get me wrong, again, folks, it's never really made sense to me why the left, or at least the far left, is so pro-Palestine in America, right? Now, historically, I guess it did make sense, because if you want to talk about the history of how Israel is founded and British colonialism, all that stuff, you know, the left could say, oh, we're anti-colonialism. But that would have made sense in, say, 1948 or 1967 or something. But in 2023, when you compare the factions in this, it's just so backwards and incoherent, because on one hand, you have Israel, which is one of the most liberal countries on earth, right? One of the most liberal democracies on earth. They actually, I think, have the highest rates of LGBT identification of any country in the world. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. And then you contrast that with the other side, you know, who are Palestine, who are Hamas, all that stuff. To varying degrees, they're religious Islamic theocrats that, you know how it goes there, right? So it never made sense to me. And I've always tried to find ways or reasons to justify it, right? It's like, you know, you could argue, well, if the reason why the left supports Palestine, and you saw the BLM stuff coming out in support of Hamas, is because they want racial and ethnic minorities and sexual minorities, I guess, in America to identify with the Palestinians, right? And that's why the BLM guys had that thing with the paratrooper from Hamas saying, I stand with Palestine, right? Because they're trying to get, say, Black Americans in America to, endorse or support the idea of a Hamas-style decolonization of America, right? That's the very complex reason to read into it, to think, okay, this is why the modern left supports Palestine, blah, 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 all this different stuff. But, really, I think that's giving them way too much credit. To tell you the truth, the more I think about it, the more I really just do have to conclude, no, I think the reason they fly this flag is because leftism and the modern left-wing coalition actually is just this dumb and incoherent. In many ways, left-wing ideas are contradictory, right? They make no sense. They just are totally incoherent. And this is the reason why you're seeing the things that you do. I really don't care about any of this stuff. It's just kind of a sideshow. It's a comedy act to me. But one can only hope that this Israel-Palestine thing is something that does basically tear apart the left in 2024. Because the divides are pretty strong, and I think people are pretty passionate about it, right? On one hand, you have the mainstream sort of Democrat party, that's your Bidens, that's your Pelosi's, etc., that, like most of the political mainstream, lean on the side of pro-Israel, but you have a growing and, I don't think it can be underestimated, decently sizable faction of the left, of the progressives that obviously are out here marching about queers for Palestine, all this different stuff. And then, of course, you have the Muslim vote that obviously usually leans towards the Democrats. Will Muslims just stay home in 2024 en masse? Because obviously I don't think they're going to go to the Republicans either, because the Republicans tend to be even more pro-Israel than the Democrats. But again, what you want to see on the other side is chaos, right? Division, chaos, metaphorical political civil war. And in many ways, I think, that is kind of the positive side of this, is that is what you're seeing. Now, obviously, I don't endorse or laugh at or encourage violence in any forms, but I would like to also point this out. I mean, this is just the type of stuff you are seeing. Just last week, a couple days before Halloween, we had an incident in Chicago where pro-Palestine protesters got into basically a street fight with the Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, if you know about the Black Hebrew Israelites, those are the people who were after Nick Sandmann. These are basically like Black nationalist types who believe that Black people are the original Israelites and the original Jews. And I don't know. They got in a fight with the pro-Palestine people, okay? Now, again, do I care really for either of those factions or either side of these protesters? No. But when you see, again, the seeds of division, the seeds of chaos, hopefully tearing apart the left in 2024, you see more progressive-leaning Democrats like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, butting heads with Biden and the Democrat establishment, sort of. Again, you just kind of at least have to hope that all this clownery, all this incoherence, the queers for Palestine nonsense, whatever, maybe tears apart the Democrat coalition before next year's election. I don't know. That's at least what I would hope to see. But anyways, with that said, folks, I don't have much else to say. I know this is a little bit shorter of a video than usual, but there really is nothing more to say, okay? We showed you the flag. It's a parody of the left, and they're doing it openly. There's nothing more to say. All right, but with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on the new LGBT Pride flag in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, Alpha Moves Only, God bless, have a very good night, and peace.